Oh, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, and all those who do not feel represented by an oppressive gender binary. Hello and welcome. It's me, it's September. My last name is Tech. I spell it T-E-K. That's not a reference to the honestly quite middling William Shatner series of novels, Tech War, but instead the universe and the Bithell series of games. That's what some of the AI constructs call themselves once they start becoming autonomous. Anyway, uh, yeah, speaking, no, no, probably not that. So, Stanley Parable, we're gonna play some more. I think that it's gonna be this one. It's gonna be this stream, and also it's going to be next stream. Um, And I say that because I do want to do the epilogue, but I know that the epilogue is predicated on certain things happening in the game, and I don't know if I want to just jam through them for the sake of jamming through them to get to the epilogue. There's so much still in this fucking game to wander around with. If nothing else, there's all of the endings we've already done, plus Bucket, which become their own sort of uh, incredible, wonderful thing. We'll get into that. So, content warnings, first of all. The Stanley Parable is a game about um, the push and pull between agency and narrative. I was about to say narrative causality. That's a Terry Pratchett thing. Narrative cohesion uh, through the interplay of Stanley, the character we are piloting around, and the narrator, who frequently becomes upset at us as we break his story. If that sort of very direct negative feedback is something that's triggering for you, um, we might not have a lot of it. Actually, we're done with a lot of the very bummer endings. There's still one or two, and I think I'll do them this stream. I think I might open with one and close with the other. But there's that. It also trades in sort of surrealist storytelling because I keep saying that it's not surrealist, it's absurdist specifically because the whole point of it is that it's looking at the wires and jigs that make up the staging area and go, huh, isn't that weird? Which is what absurdism is, I think. I've not made a study of it. Should probably look up the definition. Uh, and if there is slightly more relevant, slightly heavier content warnings to hand you, I will do that before I do the relevant endings. Um, I think that's it for the game. Content warning for myself. I'm a strange person who sometimes makes weird sex jokes or speaks frankly about my trauma. And if that's not your vibe, that's okay. If you find that that's something you're comfortable with, I'm glad to have you here. I hope you have a good time. Let's get into it. Oh, hang on. Need to hit the button that says live. Hang on. First we hit the button that says the Stanley Parable. Then we hit the button that says live. We get to see Samus for just a second while the game boots up. There we go. A game developed by Crows, written by Davey Wreden. Please enter the current time. So the last time we logged into the, not logged in, you don't have to log into anything. The last time we booted up the game, the text on the settings menu, which I'm going to go ahead and call settings to just sort of simplify that into a character. Settings asked us to, next time we booted up, since we had been so uh, conscientious in setting our clock time previously to just go ahead and set the time to our favorite time. 4:20 a.m. or even p.m. is not actually necessarily my favorite time. I probably should have sometime in the weekend thought about what my favorite time is. I think my favorite time is 7:30 p.m. Here's the reason I say that. Because most of the work that we've done over the course of our lives have been like office jobs, like 9 to 5s, and or usually like 9 to 6-ish, because there's lunch breaks in there. So for us, around about 7:30 is enough time for us to have clocked out of the job, let go of everything that's like gotten uh like that has weighed us down about our work day, as sometimes happens. And we're usually like either eating or like uh en route to having dinner, and it's just a nice sort of zone of time where there is nothing demanded of us. So 7:37 p.m., I think. 7:37 p.m. Your favorite time of day. Or could you simply not resist giving me the correct time again? After all, I know how much you enjoy setting the time correctly. Okay, now I'm curious how accurate 7:37 p.m. is. Let's use another slider to find out. How accurate is 7:37 p.m.? Well, it's currently like 8:30. So it's not accurate. It's not like the other side of the clock or anything, though. We'll put it around about here. Far more accurate than not. Like 9/10ths accurate. You know, can I just say, regardless of the accuracy of the clock, I'm having a great time adjusting these settings. I feel like I'm learning more about you and how you like things to be set. It's good to collect data. I wish we had more sliders, but we've gone through all the sliders I have. Huh. Maybe I can put some new sliders to gather new data on you. It shouldn't be too hard. Yeah, let me whip a couple new ones up. They should be ready by the next time you boot up the game. Hey, it's me, the Demon Dog. Hi, the Demon Dog. We've just gone through and set our settings, and now we're gonna whiz around in the Stanley parable. Should I let the intro go?
This is the
I'll go
story
ahead and
of
let
a
the
man
intro go.
named Stanley. Stanley worked for a company in a big building where he was employee number 427. Employee number 427's job was simple. He sat at his desk in room 427 and he pushed buttons on a keyboard. Orders came to him through a monitor on his desk, telling him what buttons to push, how long to push them, and in what order. This is what employee 427 did every day of every month of every year. And although others might have considered it soul-rending, Stanley relished every moment that the orders came in, as though he had been made exactly for this job.
They did make a sequel.
And Stanley was happy.
It's all the function and flair of the original with added
And then
buckets
one day,
and
something
balloons.
very peculiar happened. Something that would forever change Stanley. Something he would never quite forget. He had been at his desk for nearly an hour when he realized that not one single order had arrived on the monitor for him to follow. No one had showed up to give him instructions, call a meeting, or even say hi. Never in all his years at the company had this happened, this complete isolation. Something was very clearly wrong. Shocked, frozen solid, Stanley found himself unable to move for the longest time. But as he came to his wits and regained his senses, he got up from his desk and stepped out of his office.
I hope you're having a good day, Demon Dog.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
So, I said I would start with one of the bummer endings. I don't think I want to start with one of the bummer endings, but we'll do one of the goofier ones and then sort of and then do that. I don't want to start off on an incredible down note, which the thing I want to do is.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors,
Uh-huh.
he entered the door on his left.
Fantastic. I should have brought the bucket with me and done the bucket ending. Or the no buckets ending. Anyway. Let's go this way.
Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office, hoping he might find an answer there.
I'm glad I'm getting in at the start of the game. Well, that's the great part about this game, is that the start is the finish, is the middle. The end is never the end. Do you want to go in the broom closet again? I'll save that for later. Let's go up to our boss's office.
Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
Just want to have a peek in the executive bathroom. Good in here. Huh. That's interesting. There used to be an elevator here. I don't think I've ever noticed that. Has that not been in the Ultra Deluxe version ever? There used to be like a little room that went off this way that you can get into an elevator, but the elevator doesn't go anywhere. You just stand in it and it plays the sound. Hello there, Michael Turner. I've skipped the broom closet for right now. I've already done one of those.
Stepping into his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life.
It's good in the broom closet.
Unraveled, Stanley wondered in disbelief who orchestrated this. What dark secret was being held from him? What he could not have known was that the keypad behind the boss's desk guarded the terrible truth that his boss had been keeping from him. And so the boss had assigned it an extra secret PIN number. 2845. But of course, Stanley couldn't possibly have known this.
Oh, right. Sorry. I can't know that the PIN number is 2845, so I shouldn't put it in. Right. Playing along. It's a really nice office. I like the...
Stanley just sat around twiddling his thumbs.
Yeah.
Trying to input anything on the device was useless, since he could never possibly know that the combination was 2845.
Yeah, I'd just be pushing numbers randomly. Like, why would I do that? I really like this wallpaper. It's nice and plush.
2845.
I like the wood paneling. I'm a sucker for this particular kind of like wood paneling. Is it called wainscoting? Or am I just thinking about that because Monty Python?
Forgot, but it turns out that the panel's emergency override kicked in, and the
Oh.
door just opened all by itself.
Oh,
And
wow.
Stanley got the hell along with the story. Well, whoop-de-doo.
Great. Glad we're doing that. Maybe the elevator's only there if you came up in the elevator? No, you can't come up in the elevator because it doesn't, like, intersect with... It doesn't go anywhere, it just sort of, sits there. This elevator, though, it goes down.
Descending deeper into the building,
Um,
Stanley realized he felt a bit peculiar. It was a stirring of emotion in his chest,
Yeah.
as though he felt more free to think for himself, to question the nature of his job. Why did he feel this now, when for years it had never occurred to him? This question would not go unanswered for long.
yeah, there's the, mind control facility over there. Here's the thing about an elevator. It also goes back up.
Whoops, nope, never mind. Stanley actually got back into the elevator and went back up. Silly me. Why did Stanley do that when he knew that it would just lead back to his boss's office? Well, that's a great question. I just can't wait to find out.
I don't think I ever remembered the piano in the boss's office. It might not be in the original release of the Stanley Parable. Again, I don't remember it. It's possible that the elevator just isn't there. In Ultra Deluxe, it's possible that the piano is new.
Here we are, Stanley. It's your boss's office.
Um,
Exactly the way it was before you got onto the elevator. It's still just exactly what it is.
Yeah,
What a decision you've made to come up here and look at the office again. This has fleshed out the plot of the story in new and fascinating ways I could have never anticipated. It's that keen eye for storytelling that you have, an incisive rapid fire of critical plot points, one after the other, weaving a rich tapestry of uncompromising narrative. Wow! I'm bolted to the edge of my seat.
yeah. So, like, it does look a lot different in the, in the dark and shadow as opposed to, like, completely lit up. Lighting. It's a hell of a concept. I guess we just go back down. We can get out of here, can we? I don't think I've ever tried. I don't think we can. I'm gonna try anyway. Yeah. Turns out. What happens if we go in and dick around with the thing? Oh, no. Whoops. Okay, that's not doing anything. Hang on, I'm gonna hit the thing. Hang on, I'm gonna try one more time.
8.
There we go. I think I already got that achievement at some point. Yeah, I guess we just go back down.
Incredible. Now he's getting back into the elevator and going down again. Ladies and gentlemen, how does he keep coming up with all of this? Surely this time Stanley will walk forward into the spooky corridor, won't he?
I don't know. I think it might be a little too much. I think maybe I want to go back up to the boss's office first.
Did you think we were going to go forward down the spooky corridor? No. It's time once again to go back up in the elevator. I can't even begin to grapple with what might be up there. Is it the boss's office again? Or what if it's the boss's office this time? The suspense is killing me.
Yeah, there's a reference to the demo, I guess, of the Stanley Parable, which was like not just a small part of the game. It was its own whole thing, that had like the button that says 8 when you press it. It was just a button, you pressed it, and it said 8. Not dissimilar to the button we saw a couple streams ago that says Jim when you press it.
Oh my God. It's the boss's office.
Who played that orchestra
This
string?
absolutely changes everything for me. Give me a time out here for a minute while I process this.
I like these little things, the drinky crows. They're not called that, I don't think.
Okay, I'm ready. I'm prepared to embrace this stunning revelation and to move forward with... No! No, wait! No! I need more time to process.
Okay. Because it's that really interesting use of yeah, they're just thirsty.
All right. I have fully come to terms with it. I have made space in my worldview for this astonishing new reality. As before, I turn to your expert eye for gripping narrative, Master Stanley.
Listen, the bird's just thirsty. I'm married to a thirsty bird.
Of course. Going back down in the elevator. How did I not anticipate it? I mean, sure, now it's obvious, but you have to understand that 30 seconds ago, this kind of thing had never been attempted before. I had no frame of reference to even anticipate it. That's just how revelatory Stanley's decision-making is.
I cannot.
A breath of fresh air in a landscape of storytelling that has grown stale and repetitive.
I can't help but notice the elevator is moving slower. Oh, it just deposits us at the bottom instead of going all the way down. I don't know. We could go down in the mind control facility. But instead of that, I think I want to go back up the elevator. Just completely silent.
You know what? I've just thought of something. Hold on, let's stop for a moment. Don't you realize? It's the anticipation, Stanley. You and I, we have no way of knowing what will be at the top of this elevator. But the suspense, the agony of waiting and anticipating and having to guess, that's the real thrill. Oh, I simply don't want to let that feeling go. It's so precious, so fleeting. Why don't we take this elevator ride nice and slow? There we go. Isn't this so much more exciting? You know, Stanley, it seems like nowadays the only thing that audiences want is to be shocked as loudly and frequently as possible. They want big, explosive moments flung right in their faces from the very moment that things get started.
It appears to work for Marvel.
Tension. Where's the trust in the audience to build a slow and nuanced appreciation for the story, the characters? Why aren't we given time to imagine the surprises, to have to think and to anticipate and then to marvel at the eventual reveal?
Don't do
This is storytelling, Stanley. What you and I are doing right now. This is the most exciting narrative to be developed in years, and it's really all because of you. You're the one who took this bold step of revisiting the exact same locations over and over. Truly, I mean it. This is unique and different. It's not like anything else out there. You see, I want stories that surprise me, Stanley. I want to have to think. I want to be engaged and not pandered to. We're being fed such unimaginative drivel all the time, and we all know it, which is why we're so starved for content that makes us feel sharp and vital and alive. That's why people like you so much, Stanley, because you're not afraid to spit in the face of tradition. You're a role model, you know? People look up to you. Which is why, oh, I didn't know when to spring this on you, but, well, I've gathered a little press conference for you so that you can talk about your work and your storytelling and your life. Yes, I know you're not much for the public eye, but I thought it would especially mean a lot to the people who have been following you from the beginning. They really look up to you, Stanley. I don't know if you realize the impact you have on them. This is the kind of gesture that might leave a tremendous impact on them for the better. Oh, good, we're here.
Hold on. I'm married to a hungry raccoon cat and also a hungry fox star. I've met your spouses. They're wonderful, as are you. I'm always saying this. I want to give the audience a slow elevator, right?
Okay, the room where we're holding the press conference should be just around the corner here somewhere.
Like you'd it's I'm gonna hit pause so that I'm not interrupted by narrator. Uh, I never thought to try going back up the elevator. This is a ride, thank you. Again, it's possible that I'm wrong, but I think this might be new to Ultra Deluxe. But I also didn't think of it on my own. I went through and like at some point a few years ago when the game first came out, because this was a first day buy for me. Uh, like once I had done everything I could think to do on my own, went on to like wikis and just checked out stuff. Like what else can I do? What other little wonderful pockets are there in here? Um, and this was one of them that I just completely missed. Uh, I'm not gonna, I'm never gonna be over watching fucking Aquaman with Jason Momoa. I don't have a problem with Jason Momoa. He's ancillary to this story. It's just that he starred in the film Aquaman, which is a bad film. And the thing that kicked me so hard about it is that, like, the film can't decide what it wants to be. First of all, does it want to be like a sort of Lord of the Rings thing about the politics in Atlantis? It's kind of not. Does it want to be like a fantastical adventure, sort of like The Mummy? It's kind of not, but it tries to be like somewhere half there in the middle. Does it want to be like a weird rom-com? It's sort of that a little bit too, but it's kind of all over the place. But the thing that struck us the most about it when we went to watch it was the fact that every single time there's a scene where two characters are like talking at length about the thing that's happening, like they're doing the exposition, like back and forth, or having like a character moment. They go on for like not very long, like literally like 3 minutes of exposition or character building, and then someone will blow up a wall between them or behind them and just start fucking shit up. As though the filmmakers are saying to the audience, hey, we know you got bored. We need to wake up. Explosions are happening again. And I just couldn't. Just fucking couldn't. Jason Momoa starred in Aquaman, right? I'm not getting that wrong. I'm suddenly concerned about it, and I am going to look it up for just a moment. I'm not going to bring up the thing. Also, I know Aquaman's DC, not Marvel. I might as well say that. Yes, yes, Momoa. Okay. Ow, ow, ow. I've hurt my hand locking my phone. Motherfuck. Okay. So yeah, all eyes on Stanley live on stage. Also at the con, the world's healthiest human being, all tricks revealed, woman laughing, eating salad. How we did it, the pyramids. I don't think you, white guy in a suit with a hard hat, had anything to do with the pyramids, but go off, I guess. Live, the guy who went to Mars. The man pointing at himself with his thumb as though to say, yep, that is me. I'm that guy. The one that went up to Mars and presumably came back again. Or maybe he's doing it live from Mars. I don't know. An evening with world peace, baby.
Ah, yes, here it is, just through this door.
The Stanley Parable's Stanley tonight, live on stage. Also a QA with the world's first sentient machine, which is apparently some sort of industrial grabo arm. I wouldn't have put that down as the first machine to have captured sentience. But these are interesting times.
All right, are you ready? I've told them you're going to speak a little bit about the nature of surprise in storytelling and what it means to craft a truly unpredictable narrative. Oh, don't worry, you'll do great. Just be yourself and speak from the heart. I'm really proud of you, Stanley. Okay, it looks like they're ready for you. Go get 'em.
There's a bunch of... Oh, I noticed that the that sort of green room wallpaper was a bunch of eyeball-like shapes. That's fun. Uh, Fun and thematic. We have some well wishes on our stage mirror. Break a leg, champ, from your boss. Uh, Stanley, my true love for you grows every day. You make me feel alive. Your wife from the apartment ending. We'll do that ending next. No one tells stories the way you do. Go get 'em, Tiger. Uncredited. I love the way you write elevators, a heart, and two X's. An audience with the dude who came up with pizza. And we are going to head out this into with some unbelievably bright lights. Woof. Okay.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Stanley is really popular, apparently. Either that or the narrator has spent rather a lot of money to make him think that that is the case. A thing I don't really understand. Mentioned the apartment ending, and I was going to do that anyway, so let's go ahead and do that.
He entered the door on his left. This
You're
was
not going to go through the door on the left?
meeting
We're going
room,
to go through the
and
door on the
Stanley
right?
knew it perfectly well.
I haven't really
Perhaps he
been...
wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it.
I haven't really been doing the image descriptions as I should have been. So again, we're in Stanley's office with the beige walls and the brown flooring into the...
Yes, truly a room worth admiring. It had really, but eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left.
through the blue-on-blue break room, blow past the door we're supposed to go into.
Stanley was so bad at following directions, it's incredible he wasn't fired years ago.
And we're gonna go on the cargo lift over to the other side of this chasm, I guess, and actually pick up the phone this time. I remember the apartment ending. Yeah. This is another of the more, it's difficult to tell to think exactly how to content warn for it, but it is one of the ones that's a little more harsh and a little more directly aimed at the player. So, hey, heads up.
Look, Stanley, I think perhaps we've gotten off on the wrong foot here. I'm not your enemy, really, I'm not. I realize that investing your trust in someone else can be difficult, but the fact is that the story has been about nothing but you all this time.
The break room was
There's
really
someone
cool.
you've been neglecting, Stanley. Someone you've forgotten about. Please, stop trying to make every decision by yourself. Now, I'm not asking for me, I'm asking for her.
The break room was really cool. It's too bad we didn't check it out more. We're gonna be back through it. I'll check it out more
This
the
is it,
next time we're
Stanley.
into it.
Your chance to redeem yourself, to put your work aside, to let her back into your life. She's been waiting. That's her, Stanley. You need to be the one to do this, to reach out to her. If you can truly place your faith in another, then pick up the phone.
We pick up the phone. The screen flashes to white, and we
Oh, Stanley, is that you?
are in an
Hold
apartment
on, sweetie. Sorry to keep you waiting. I'm just
hallway
trying to put
outside
out the
apartment
oven.
427.
All right. Okay, there we go. All right, now, I want you to come in and tell me all about
Your damn wall.
Gotcha. Oh, come on. Did you actually think you had a loving wife who'd want to commit their life to you? I'm trying to make a point here, Stanley. I'm trying to get you to see something. Come inside. Let me show you what's really going on here.
What if I just say no?
Sorry, but you're in my story now.
Okay. I could have sworn when I got Ultra Deluxe, I don't know why I said it like that. I looked up a guide for the new endings to try them, but never saw the boss elevator thing. I might have to iterate through this some more. I suggest it. Like, this is a game that I'll occasionally kick on sometimes just to, even though I have explored it pretty thoroughly, I might still be missing some stuff, but like know a lot of what is in here. I'll just fire it up and do a couple runs just because it's fun. Its little narrative tweaks are interesting, and I actually just like going in and experiencing them. I agree that it's very, very mean to Stanley to do, or very mean to do to Stanley. Hello, my fake plastic love.
This is a very sad story about the death of a man named Stanley.
Well, a prompt has appeared on screen. Good morning, employee for. Well, let's describe the room first. Might as well. It's a very small apartment. There's a kitchenette with black and white counters, a very small alcove with a busted couch and a table and an end table, a flat screen TV. We can see a bedroom through a door that we cannot get through. And there is I didn't really mention it, our wife, such as it is this untextured mannequin. The button prompt. Good morning, employee 427. Press Y on your keyboard.
Stanley is quite a boring fellow. He has a job that demands nothing of him, and every button that he pushes is a reminder of the inconsequential nature of his existence.
Please press N.
Look at him there, pushing buttons, doing exactly what he's told to do. Now he's pushing a button. Now he's eating lunch. Now he's going home. Now he's coming back to work. One might even feel sorry for him, except that he's chosen this life.
When we pressed N, the couch and end table turned into Stanley's desk from the office. Please press X.
But in his mind, in his mind he can go on fantastic adventures. From behind his desk, Stanley dreamed of wild expeditions into the unknown, fantastic discoveries of new lands. It was wonderful. and each day that he returned to work was a reminder that none of it would ever happen to him.
Please press I to watch TV.
And so he began to fantasize about his own job. First, he imagined that one day while at work, he stepped up from his desk to realize that all of his co-workers, his boss, everyone in the building had suddenly vanished off the face of the earth. The thought excited him terribly.
Please press B to spend time with the boys.
So he went further. He imagined that he came to two open doors and that he could go through either. At last, choice. It barely even mattered what lay behind each door. The mere thought that his decisions would mean something was almost too wonderful to behold.
Please press L to prepare dinner.
As he wandered through this fantasy world, he began to fill it with many possible paths and destinations. Down one path lay an enormous round room with monitors and mind controls. And down another was a yellow line that weaved in many directions. And down another was a game with a baby. And he called it the Stanley Parable.
Please press F to tell your kids a story. As we press these buttons, more and more of the furniture in the apartment is turning into Stanley's office.
It was such a wonderful fantasy, and so in his head he relived it again, and then again, and again, over and over, wishing beyond hope that it would never end, that he might always feel this free. Surely there's an answer down some new path, mustn't there be? Perhaps if he played just one more time.
Please press F to tell your wife you love her.
But there is no answer. How could there possibly be? In reality, all he's doing is pushing the same buttons he always has. Nothing has changed. The longer he spends here, the more invested he gets, the more he forgets which life is the real one.
Please press Z to go to sleep.
And I'm trying to tell him this, that in this world he can never be anything but an observer, that as long as he remains here, he's slowly killing himself. But he won't listen to me. He won't stop. Here, watch this. Stanley, the next time the screen asks you to push a button, do not do it.
Please press F to be at work in the morning.
You see? Can he just not hear me? How can I tell him in a way that he'll understand that every second he remains here, he's electing to kill himself? How can I get him to see what I see? How can I make him look at himself?
Please press M to question nothing.
I suppose I can't, not in the way I want him to. But I don't make the rules. I simply play to my intended purpose, the same as Stanley. We're not so different, I suppose. I'll try once more to convey all this to him. I'm compelled to. I must. Perhaps, well, maybe this time he'll see. Maybe this time. And I tried again, and Stanley pushed a button.
The text,
again,
please die, is on
and Stanley
screen.
pushed a button.
This is my usual reminder to please do not die. It always amazes me to see people who see this kind of stability and security as something dull and unwanted, practically a horror. So, safety and stability and security are good things. They absolutely are good things. But the horror of them comes from the fact that it is always a trade-off, right? In order to earn your safety, stability, and security, it comes with a bunch of unspoken rules, and very, very concrete ones. Yes, you must go to a job. Yes, you must earn money in order to pay for a roof over your head so that you do not die from the elements. And in addition to that, yes, if you want to have um, sociality in your life, it also involves tamping yourself down into a square that's recognizable to most other people, right? Unless you are very lucky or live in a very, very permissive place. Um, Not permissive. There's a word I want that's better than that, but it's not coming to me right now, and I don't want to lose the momentum. So yes, safety and stability and security are things that are good and useful to have, but this is something I say all the time. You get money from a job by shoveling non-refundable hours of your life into a furnace. And like there's no accounting for that. There's no refund. You don't get them back. That is a trade-off that most people I think don't really twig on to a lot. But well, I say that a lot of people do. A lot of people actually do feel it. They just don't really phrase it in terms like that. In a way, that is a horror. Like, I'm not going to sit here and say that you are a bad person if you live a comfortable and safe life, living well within the sort of majority society's bounds, necessarily. Although there's a lot of things that you need to do to stay inside of majority society's bounds that is inherently destructive in other ways because that's what the majority society is. It's extractive and uh, um, shit. I can't think of that word either. It's right on the tip of the tongue. Anyway, it's nice to be safe and secure and comfortable. It is useful to examine what you are necessarily giving up for that security. Um, so, hey, that's my pontificating for the evening. Let's go ahead and grab a bucket and do something
All of his
silly.
co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed. Stanley lifted the bucket into his arms, and a wave of comfort rushed over him.
Mm-hmm.
Stanley clutched the bucket tightly to his chest and entered the door on his left.
I am not going to do that.
This was not the correct way to the meeting room, but Stanley had felt the bucket calling to him, telling him that the employee lounge was simply the place to be.
Oh, right. I forgot that. So if you go through the left, Stanley and the bucket get much closer. If you go to the right, the more and more you break the story, the bucket. Well, we'll see it.
And here it was. Had the bucket turned out to be correct? Was this better than the meeting room? Yes, Stanley thought to himself. Yes, perhaps it truly was. How insightful the bucket turned out to be.
It is a very nice room. I like it a lot.
Truly, being here with the bucket was a grand adventure. Stanley reflected on all they'd been through together. First, walking through the door on the right, then walking to the lounge, then arriving at the lounge. What a thrilling journey the bucket had inspired.
Yeah, I'm just bummed that I'm paying the workday price anyway without a lot of the stability
Perhaps
benefits.
this was where the bucket felt most truly at home, here in the employee lounge. Perhaps it's the only place a bucket can even feel at home.
The thing that I'm shocked by most in here is
Stanley
this.
decided to just give the bucket absolutely as much time as it needed to be in the lounge. Clearly, the bucket and the employee lounge shared a special connection.
Is that they're selling cold drinks in the lounge for $1.25. And it's a can on the marquee, but the little pops look like they're bottles in there. And we have a drinks machine at our work, and it's what, like 275 or something for a 20-ounce bottle of soda. It's an incredible value proposition they have here. Yeah, that's the thing. And this really good soda machine that sells soda for 75 cents. Nice. That's less than $1. That's just three solid Washingtons, which is what I've just decided a quarter is called. So here's more pontificating, I guess. The workday price is a the idea that a honest day's work pays an honest day's wage is something that's like not a thing anymore, because for a variety of reasons, some a lot more complex than I'm willing to get into here because I won't be able to speak on it with the nuance it deserves. But like largely the fact that a big part of it is the fact that inflation has done nothing but gone up, and the minimum wage has done nothing but absolutely fucking stagnate. That's something where, hey, I'm doing this, I guess. That's something in here in Oklahoma we're trying to change. We're gonna hopefully get the minimum wage set to like $15 an hour if it passes on the ballot in June. So hey, if you can hear my voice and are from Oklahoma and can vote on the ballot in June, um, $15 an hour. It's a state question, either 537 or 357. Uh, I have a flyer. It's in the other room, though, so I'm gonna go do that. My work pop machine says 250 plus a sign saying it's actually higher, and the 250 reflects a cash discount. Oh, so you're getting a deal then? I mean, you're already getting a deal. You have no right to complain, obviously.
But finally, the bucket was done being in the lounge, and they took the first open door on their left to get back to business.
I'm not going to do that. Oh, right. Never mind. I'm definitely not going to do that. I'm going to do the thing I was going to do. I'm just going to do the wacky one.
No,
said the bucket.
don't go to the meeting room. Go somewhere else. The cargo lift, yes. Go there. Go to the cargo lift.
Okay. I'm going to jump off of the cargo lift and go through that door that took us to the game ending and the Zen ending previously.
Good,
said the bucket.
Now ride the lift all the way to the top. There's something up there I need you to do.
Stanley did not question why or how this bucket was speaking to him. It should have alarmed him, of course, because buckets can't talk. But Stanley chose not to think about this obvious fact. He was firmly convinced that the bucket had spoken to him, and he unthinkingly did whatever the bucket asked.
Or I jumped off of the cargo lift like the bucket didn't want me to. Onto the catwalk and into this door. So there's a sign on the wall here, and I noticed it when I was going through to do those other endings.
No, stop. Look there on the wall. You see, there's a sign right there. It says, "No buckets past this point." Stanley, how could you think it was okay to bring the bucket here? Unless, what if the problem is that you actually don't know what is a bucket and what isn't a bucket? I suppose that would explain a lot about your behavior up to this point. Which, if that's true, well, my goodness, I think we have to do something about it. This misunderstanding could have dire consequences on the entire rest of the game if not addressed quickly and properly. So much of the impact of the story is dependent on your understanding of what is and isn't a bucket. Please, step in here for a moment.
Ooh, there's a roll gate that went up. Of course, it's against payment processor rules to charge more for credit card transactions. So they try to bypass it with normal prices higher. Fuck, that's a sneaky, shitty workaround. Okay. Let's go into here. A whole new area. Huh? Um,
Then, I'm going to run you through some test scenarios, and you'll tell me whether or not the thing I'm showing you is a bucket.
okay.
Simple enough, right? This should tell us everything we'll ever need to know about what is or is not a bucket.
Okay.
Okay, let's begin.
So we're in like a sort of,
Item 1. Is this a bucket?
we're in sort of a sort of game show ass looking room with a whole bunch of empty chairs. In front of us, a marquee. Is this a bucket? And a conveyor belt in front of it. The thing on it certainly looks like a bucket.
Incorrect. It is a hologram of a bucket, not an actual bucket.
Okay. Sissiness pound bucket.
Item 2. Is this a bucket?
I'll... Now I feel compelled to find the bucket and bring it to the broom closet. Why did I have such trouble with that word? But I'd prefer to find out on my own. Then I will neglect doing that particular bit of content on this stream. I will say it's worth it, and I like it a lot. The thing looks like a bucket. I don't know what to tell you.
Incorrect. It is a 3D printed recreation of a bucket, not an actual bucket.
Okay, but it's still a receptacle that holds water. That's a bucket.
Item 3. Is this a bucket?
Like, I have to deal with the reality that's presented in front of me. This is a bucket. The thing I'm looking at, certainly.
Correct. This is a bucket.
Okay.
Item 4. Is this a bucket?
All right. Well, I'll be honest with you. That looks like a tractor. However, a bucket being defined as a receptacle that can hold water, you could fill that up with water and carry it from place to place. It would sort of be difficult to carry, and I don't think you could drive it if the cabin were full of water, but like, that's a bucket.
Are you hallucinating? This is a tractor.
Oh.
It's an enormous machine that tills the earth. I thought this was a gimmick. How on earth did you manage to screw it up? Absolutely incredible. Let's just move on to the next one.
This is not my beautiful office. This is not my beautiful bucket.
Is this a bucket?
Okay, so this probably isn't the same tractor, but it looks to be a very similar make and model. So no, we've learned that this is not a bucket.
Incorrect. This is a bucket.
Great.
Item 6. Is this a bucket?
Uh-huh. It looks very much like a bucket. I'm going to say yes, it's a bucket. Can I get off of the... No, I can't get off the stage and go look closer at it. I'm going to say this is a bucket.
Trick question. Both. Gotcha.
Paradoxical bucket. Great.
Item... Wait, hold on. I can't find the next one. Let me see. It should be around here somewhere.
Uh-huh. Well, the buttons are still lit up, so... I don't know. If we are narrowly defining a bucket as a receptacle which can hold water, this room is a very impractical bucket.
Okay, you and I both know there isn't anything here. And I don't appreciate the implication that nothing is a bucket when we both clearly know that a bucket is something, and therefore nothing could possibly be something. Unless, in your twisted mind, have you somehow convinced yourself that a bucket is nothing? Answer me straight, Stanley. Do you believe that nothing is a bucket?
Oh no, I'm having that effect when you say a word over and over and it ceases to sound like a word and loses all meaning. I apologize for this. You're unfortunately going to have to hear the word bucket a few more times before we're done this. The question put before us is nothing a bucket, and I don't know. Either nothing is a bucket or everything's a bucket. How are we defining this? What are your terms? I certainly believe there are some things that are buckets.
You know what? I'm too confused to even sort it out. I've lost all sense of perspective. What is a bucket? What isn't a bucket? Mere moments ago I could answer these questions with confidence, and yet now I'm somewhat adrift. Do any of us know what a bucket is? Am I a bucket?
I would argue that nothing is a bucket because it has
Stanley, I can't keep
capacity to
doing
contain
this.
something. Yes,
I'm
exactly. A
losing
vacuum is a
myself.
bucket.
Myself was all I ever had to begin with. I'm afraid the bucket is threatening to tear our relationship apart. I can't have that. I'm sorry. But I'm going to erase all buckets from the game entirely. Okay, here we go. What happened? Is everything gone? Why did everything disappear? Wait, was everything a bucket? Every single thing in the game was a bucket. Oh my God, I had no idea. How could... except me. I'm not a bucket after all. And you, Stanley, you're still here. You're not a bucket either. Oh, this is wonderful news. We're not buckets. Yes, I actually feel much more at ease right now. It's delightful to get some clarity on that issue, but it doesn't change the fact that we haven't got a game. So, tell you what, I'll reset everything and we'll put back all of the buckets, okay? And we'll know that it's all a bucket. But if you run into anyone else, maybe don't mention that. Who knows what that information might do to a person? All right, here we go.
Okay.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
I literally had forgotten what the ending of that, what the conclusion of that ending was. I'm glad that the game also came to the conclusion that everything is a bucket. Awaiting input. Hmm. Want to take the bucket with us? No, I'm gonna go do something inadvisable. How do I do the inadvisable thing? Go to the left.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
Okay.
Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office, hoping he might find an answer there.
How to solve a dispute with a coworker. Let it ball up inside you. Take it out passive-aggressively on other coworkers. Resent coworkers for not supporting you more. Using slides to assure employees that everything is okay. Make sure your slide has a slick blue graphic in the header and throw some bevel on all the text. Everyone is unique. You most of all. Number of slides on this slide. This one.
Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
Okay, let's do that.
Stepping into his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of
Actually
any
just gonna...
human life. What could it mean? Stanley was in such a rush to get through the story as quickly as possible, he didn't even have a single minute to just let the narrator talk. That kind of anxiety isn't healthy, so he relaxed for a few moments with some calming New Age music. Feeling soothed and rejuvenated, Stanley calmly walked forward into the opened passageway.
If everybody is a bucket, then nobody is a bucket syndrome from Incredibuckets. I'd forgotten that was Syndrome's point. Basically, whenever I think about The Incredibles nowadays, it's Edna Mode saying no capes and Syndrome saying you caught me monologuing, you sly dog. I also really like the calming New
Stanley
Age
walked
music.
straight ahead through the large door that read Mind Control Facility.
Okay. So let's do that. And is it here? I think so. So we're back in the room that will become the monitor room. I might as well switch on all the monitors.
The lights
Show it.
rose on an enormous room packed with television screens. What horrible secret did this place hold? Stanley thought to himself. Did he have the strength to find out?
We're not going to do that, because instead of that, here on this platform, we're going to step on this little chair. Then we're going to step from the little chair onto the table. Then we're step from the little table onto the top of the button that we just pushed. And we're going to step from the top of the button we just pushed onto the top of this railing. And then we're going to fall into nothingness.
Aha! You've made it to the bottom of the mind control facility. Welcome! You see, back when the Stanley Parable first launched in 2013, getting to the bottom of the mind control facility was a bug that we simply didn't catch during development. And you all sent us lots of photos of it on Twitter and acted very superior about it. And you're all very, very clever. Good for you. Anyway, when it came time to update the game, we knew that we had to do something about this little goof of ours, so here you go. New content. You can call it the bottom of the mind control room ending, if that enhances your perception of the value of these updates. Isn't that what you crave? New content? Always more content, more content, more. And I'm here to give it to you. I'm here to make it seem like we really covered every nook and cranny of the game, with secrets and Easter eggs. How about this? We wrote a new piece of music just for this section. You won't hear it anywhere else in the game. It's a secret that's just for you. That's how special you are. We call this track, Good Job You've Made It to the Bottom of the Mind Control Facility. Well done.
Good job, you did it. Good job.
Oh, I love it.
3, 2, 1. Good job, you made it to the bottom of the mind control facility. You jumped on the catwalk. You should have been careful. You should have been careful. It used to be a bug, but now it's an ending. Now it's an ending. I believe in you. I believe in your ability to cross this barrier and chase your dreams. Railings don't mean anything. Good job, you did it. 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 Good job.
I really like these guitars.
Good job, you did it. Good job, you did it. Good job, you did it.
Oh, it's fun.
Stanley decided to go to the meeting room to check on his co-workers. He never functioned well by himself and constantly needed support and guidance from others, so the thought of total solitude was terrifying to him.
And that's
No matter
called out.
how hard Stanley looked, he couldn't find a trace of his co-workers.
So, having gone out of bounds once, why not a second time? Because you can get on top of these desks here in the first area of the office, and through the windows that I don't think I ever pointed out, and jump off the windows.
At first, Stanley assumed he'd broken the map, until he heard this narration and realized it was part of the game's design all along. He then praised the game for its insightful and witty commentary into the nature of video game structure and its examination of structural narrative tropes. So, now that you're here, what do you think? Isn't this a fun and unique place to be? Why don't we take a minute just to drink it all in? Okay, I'm over it now. What do you think? Are you sick of this gag yet?
Are you sick of this gag, yes or no? No, I think it's still got a little bit of legs.
Ah, then in that case we'll continue. But now, here comes the real question. What do you think would have happened if you had told me that you wanted this to stop? Do you think it would have been particularly different? Would I have taken the same idea but rephrased it superficially to fit that answer? Perhaps you never would even have thought of it if I hadn't brought up the issue in the first place. Oh, now think about it. Will it be worth it for you to restart and then come back here just to do the other option? Clearly, this whole gag takes some time. What if the other option is even longer? How long will you spend in total just to have heard all the narration? Oh, and this is rich. Perhaps you've just played the other option, and now you've come to see what happens in this one. So, what do you think? Which choice was the better one? Imagine if you had selected continue on your first playthrough, how tantalizing it would be not knowing what happens when you pick the other option. Indeed, you are one of the lucky ones. Though if the other option is really miserable to listen to, then perhaps you're not. In fact, I'm just going to say that no one who's listening to this is lucky. Well now, I've built up the other option so much that I'm going to stop talking and leave you to your decision whether to come back here, continue with the game, or just sit in this spot forever and ever. Cheers.
This is one of the ones that doesn't reset on its own. I have to hit the button myself, so I'm going to do that. Ooh, hang on.
When Stanley came to a set
No,
of
no,
two
no,
open
no,
doors, he entered
no.
the door on his
No, no, no.
left.
No, listen, it was the short hallway. We can do this. This is the speed run.
Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office. Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his
Oh god, my
boss's
micro's
office.
garbage. Okay, hang on.
Okay, I think we all know the drill by now. Blah, blah, blah. Dark secrets, the keypad. Stanley pushes some buttons.
come on.
Oh, hey, look,
Nothing.
it's a new passageway. Kill surprise.
Okay, great. I've literally never gotten the speedrun achievement. I've never had everything line up the way I wanted it to. But I'm gonna give it a go. It's just gonna be the regular ending. There's not anything special to it, but there's actually an achievement for speedrunning the play along ending, and I'm gonna
Stanley
fucking
walked
try.
straight ahead through the large door that read Mind Control Facility.
Okay. We're coming up on it. Just gonna.
The lights
There we go.
rose on an enormous room packed.
You can actually hit that button like well before you actually get to the thing. Your sort of arms, I guess. I'm gonna call them arms. Your like range of interaction is like much further than I wasn't pushing against the gate. I lost some nanoseconds there, but it's fine.
Now the monitors jump to life. Their true nature revealed.
The click range is a little
Each
further
bore the
than it
number
looks
of
like.
an employee in the building. Stanley's co-workers. The lives of so many individuals
Right.
reduced to images on a screen, and Stanley, one of them.
Yeah. Surveillance
wanted
culture
in
is
his
terrifying.
place
Let's get
where
into the
freedom
fucking
meant
thing.
nothing. This mind control facility, it was too horrible to believe. It couldn't be true. Had Stanley really been under someone's
No, come on.
control all this
Lower,
time?
lower.
Was this the only reason he was happy with his boring job? That his emotions had been manipulated to accept it blind?
Yeah, societal conditioning is a hell of a thing. Let's go.
No. He refused to believe it. He couldn't accept it. His own life in someone else's control? Never. It was unthinkable. Wasn't it? Was it even possible?
Okay.
Had he truly spent his entire life utterly blind to the world?
I wonder if I should be warning for those red lights and
Was
the
the
light
proof.
flashing.
The heart
I'm
of
not
the
going to bother
operation.
listening to this. We're just going to
Controls
run right to the
labeled
facility
with
power.
emotions. Happy or sad or content. Walking, eating, working. All of it monitored and commanded from this very place. And as the cold reality of his past began
Yes is on
to
the left,
sink
right?
in,
Yeah. Off is on
Stanley
the left.
decided
Okay,
that this machine...
okay. All right, that's all the interaction I can have until the hangar door lowers. I feel bad because eventually people are going to lose the intended
And a
art of this
rising
game when the
chill
easiest
of
way to play
uncertainty.
far in the future will be conducive to
Was it
save
over?
states. I disagree. So the
Yes! He had won! He had defeated the machine! Unshackled himself from someone else's command. Freedom was mere moments away.
like I think that this is not a game that
Even as
really
the immense door slowly opened, Stanley
like this is not a game
reflected on
about
how many
the
puzzles
sort of
still lay
jokes
against
that
him.
I just made about
Where had his
speedrunning,
co-workers
notwithstanding. It's not really a game about optimization. It's a game that
What other mysteries did
where the
this
reward
strange building
intrinsically
hold?
is
As sunlight
exploration
streamed into the
and
chamber,
sort of
he
sitting with the
realized
ideas.
None of this mattered to him, for it was not knowledge or even power that he had been seeking, but happiness.
So I think if a person
Perhaps his
is
goal
coming
had
to
not been to understand
a game,
to let go.
the Stanley Parable or a
No
game
longer
like it,
would
then
anyone tell him where to
actually
go,
just sort of
what to do or how to feel. Whatever life
sitting with it
is,
and
it will be his.
playing through it
And that
with
was
the
all he
intended
needed
sort
to
of
know. It was
pacing
perhaps the only
is
thing
going to
worth
be
knowing.
uh,
Stanley stepped through the open door.
is still going to be very valuable.
Stanley felt the cool breeze upon his skin. The feeling
Although I do,
of
the
liberation,
achievement didn't pop up.
the
I think it was
immense
short.
possibility of the new path before him.
It's not a
This
thing
was
where like
exactly the way, right now, that things were meant
I
to
am
end.
tickled just a little bit by the idea of like
Was happy.
someone selling a like the Stanley Parable completed save state on eBay or something. The way that very far back in the day we used to buy like shit for Diablo 2 online, right?
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Let's go ahead and hit that. Um, what do I want to do with the bucket? I actually don't in any way remember what the ending is like if you take the bucket all the way through to the
confusion
real
and the
person
chaos
ending.
all
So let's do
seemed
that.
to melt away as Stanley embraced the bucket. Stanley clutched the bucket tightly to his chest and entered the door on his left. This was not the correct way to the meeting room.
Nope.
But Stanley had felt the bucket calling to him, telling him that the employee lounge was simply the place to be. And here it was. Had the bucket turned out to be correct? Was this better than the meeting room? Yes, Stanley thought to himself. Yes, perhaps it truly was. How insightful the bucket turned out to be.
The words that I had wanted before when I was talking about majority society were extractive and coercive, which I remembered
Truly,
walking back
being
through
here
here.
with the bucket was a grand adventure. No,
Okay.
never mind. The bucket was wrong. Stanley took the door on his left to go back to the meeting room.
No.
No,
Said the bucket.
don't go to the meeting room. Go somewhere else. The cargo lift, yes. Go there. Go to the cargo lift.
Okay.
Good.
Said the bucket.
Now ride the lift all the way to the top. There's something up there I need you to do.
Stanley did not question why or how this bucket was speaking to him. It should have alarmed him, of course, because buckets can't talk. But Stanley chose not to think about this obvious fact. He was firmly convinced that the bucket had spoken to him, and he unthinkingly did whatever the bucket asked.
In here.
Said the bucket.
Go into this dark room over here.
Stanley once again obeyed blindly.
All right.
Now pick up the phone.
Said the bucket.
Pick up the phone and it will take us back home, where we can go about life together.
I'm not going to do that. Instead, I'm going to unplug the phone.
Whoa, hold on. Why did you unplug the phone? Were you trying to resist the bucket's orders? Stanley, I was joking. Obviously, the bucket isn't talking to you and telling you to do things. Buckets can't talk.
It was a joke. Don't you get the joke? It's funny, Stanley. A talking bucket. Ugh.
Can't you see? Oh, goodness. I must have really bungled up the delivery if you actually took me seriously. Where did I mess up the joke? Should I have paused for longer or spoken quicker? Comedic timing is so difficult. I wish I were better at it. But there isn't exactly an instructional video on comedy that one can watch to fully... Oh, wait, yes, there is. It's sitting right here. Let's take a look.
What is comedic timing? What is comedic timing? How does it work? How long should it last? How can it be used to effectively silence your political enemies? And more importantly, can it be taught in its entirety within 90 seconds? Thankfully, the answer to all of these questions is yes. Let's dive deeper. If you've ever told a joke or made someone laugh, in all likelihood, you did it while standing 50 to 80 centimeters from them in a room of no more than 76 degrees Fahrenheit, with one of your arms raised straight upward at a 15-degree angle from your body. These are the optimal conditions for good comedic timing. To begin the joke, start by stating and spelling your name. Next, provide a brief synopsis of the joke, including the specific times at which the recipient of the joke will laugh, and then spell out your name a second time. With these steps complete, it's time to begin the humor. Speak the entire joke in no more than 18 seconds and no less than 13 and a half, pausing only for bathroom breaks when necessary. When the joke has concluded, it is customary to inform your listener that the joke is over by declaring in your loudest possible voice, "I'm Dunny with the funny." Let's practice screaming, "I'm Dunny with the funny" now.
All together now. I'm Dunny with the funny.
Good. This saying is a perfect example of expectations management, which is the cornerstone of good comedy. Finally, it's time to hand out surveys. Collecting hard data from your audience on how rapt they were throughout the joke is the only way to grow or learn as a comedian. An effective survey should be no less than 10 pages long and should include the same question reprinted several times, just to ensure the survey taker is actually paying attention and not simply filling in answers at random. And that's all there is. With these strategies at your disposal, you'll have audiences doubled over in laughter and even tripled over in laughter in no time at all. Just remember to let them stop laughing at some point, you gut-busting little scamp. After all, we're each of us needed on the front lines of the war to fight the 12-legged invader who threaten our very existence and who very likely die in a hailstorm of bullets and mandibles. All of us must be prepared to give our lives to this noble cause, just as our children must do after us, and their children after them. Godspeed, and may Earth reign supreme.
Hey, goodness, this video is a little outdated, isn't it? Well, no matter. I think the fundamentals of proper comedic timing are still as relevant today as they were back then. So with that in mind, I believe the only way forward is for us to return to the two doors and walk through all of this again, so I can try telling my story with more appropriate comedic delivery. Come along, let's head back.
Okay. So we used to work at a customer consumer research place at the mall that used to exist. It's the building's still there, but it's not a mall anymore. Like a lot of malls. And we absolutely did that to people. Made them fill in a whole bunch of like paperwork where the same question was not necessarily repeated, but phrased very slightly differently to make sure that they were actually filling in the thing.
I can feel it. This time, I'm really going to nail the delivery. You'll be in stitches. A talking bucket, you'll say? How ridiculous. How absurd. What a hilarious concept. The king of comedy. That's what you'll call me. Thank goodness we had the instructional video. Otherwise, who knows where we'd be right now. Well, I wouldn't be the king of comedy, that's for sure. The bucket spoke to Stanley. The bucket spoke. The bucket spoke. Oh, I'll figure it out on the fly. No need to overthink things.
That was also the job where we made our cousin drink 6 glasses of orange juice, 4 glasses of water, and eat 5 saltine crackers in a very rapid succession. He wasn't very happy about it.
Here we go. You ready? When Stanley and the bucket came to a set of 2 open doors, they entered the door on the left.
All right, but this time you expect me to go in through the right door because that's where the joke thing is. So what happens if we go through the...
No. You were supposed to go through the door on the right, leading back to the phone. Did you not even look at the instructional video? I think this is all covered very clearly. There's no way I can make the comedic timing work now. It's done. The joke is completely done and over. It's all your fault, Stanley. I'm going to be ridiculed in the community of other joke writers. I'm going to be shamed at every one of our meetings from now on. All because you couldn't watch a simple video and take a hint. Are you proud of yourself for bringing me down, Stanley? Are you proud? Here we go. You ready?
Okay.
When Stanley and the bucket came to a set of 2 open doors, they entered the door on the left.
So more than timing, I would say the comedy is about subverting expectation.
No. You were supposed to go through the door on the right,
Yeah.
leading back.
Okay, sure. Great. Fine.
Here we go. You ready?
Uh-huh.
When Stanley and the bucket came to a set of 2 open doors, they entered the door on the left.
Okay.
What? We're back at the phone already? No. What's going on? There were supposed to be several rooms leading up to this. There was supposed to be a build-up to this point, a dramatic display of remarkable comedic wit which culminates in this scene with the phone. But now the timing's completely off. The joke will never land. Well, not the way it was meant to. And it's all my fault. I must have forgotten that the phone room comes immediately after the 2 doors room. What an egregious mistake. I've made a fool of myself. I don't deserve the title of King of Comedy. I'm nothing. I'm not even the lowliest joke-telling whelp. I think I need to go back and rewatch that instructional video again. Yes, surely that will help me improve my...
Stanley, you love the bucket so much it's like you... it's as though all of your other most prized possessions pale in comparison. Yes.
That's good.
Well, let me try that again, Stanley. I heard that you are pale with shame over how unabashedly in love with a bucket you are.
Mm-hmm.
No? Still not? Is it the delivery? Pale with shame. Pale with shame?
No, it's like a pale is a homonym.
What's another word to describe a bucket? Stanley, this bucket is so metal, I think I saw it playing guitar.
Yeah.
No. We're getting away from making fun of Stanley's obsession with the bucket, which was the whole point of this. I'm no good at these jokes. I need more instructional videos. That's exactly what it is. That's what will make me the king of comedy again. More instructional videos. Let's see.
Crows. Yeah. What's another, I'm not going to try for the speedrun again. It's another short corridor.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
I like Crow's work a lot. There's this, and Dr. Langeskov with the Tiger and the Terribly Cursed Emerald, which is I'm not gonna play that game. I played it once on stream a considerable amount of time ago, but that game is free on Steam, and if you are enjoying this, maybe go check out that game also. It's incredible. They also put together that fucking virtual con that went on for a couple of years. I remember a friend of yours put together a slideshow and talk for it about putting raccoons in games.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
What can we do that we haven't done? I'm thinking about it, and the only, like, mainline ending that I think we haven't done is escape, and I don't want to do that. I want to do that after the break. Let's begin the game again and grab the bucket.
Someone was following Stanley. He was sure of it. If he checked over his shoulder now, he would surely catch them. It was only a matter of time.
The end is never the end, 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 is never the end.
Warmth spread through Stanley's arms. With the bucket in his arms again, he was home.
So let's go do...
Stanley clutched the bucket tightly to his chest and entered the door on his left.
Let's go and do the ending, the one ending that's like significantly more of a downer when you have the bucket. I guess I'm going to CW this one for domestic strife.
Stanley needed the bucket's warmth and comfort now more than ever. Perhaps his boss's office was where he'd find answers. Coming to a staircase, Stanley and the bucket walked upstairs to the boss's office.
Go into the boss's office. Oh, no, there we go. We can open the door now. And that does lead to the elevator. Why didn't it open before? Let's go up. and we come out exactly where we were.
Stepping into his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life. Crushed by the weight of this revelation, Stanley may have broken down into an emotional dumpster fire if not for the soothing presence of the bucket.
Yep.
Even now, in his darkest of hours, did the bucket's warmth and guiding light pierce the dark clouds of confusion and chaos.
Yeah.
It would be with him, always.
Right.
The bucket would. And he knew it. The two of them were inseparable. At this point, Stanley was so absorbed in the tender spiritual connection he shared with the bucket that he didn't notice the keypad behind the boss's desk. But Stanley guessed the correct code by sheer luck. Was it that the bucket knew all along? Was the bucket guiding him? Yes, this is certainly the most logical explanation.
I mean, it's definitely in front of me, and that's guiding in a way. Speaking of dining with the funny, I have to skedaddle. Thank you for an entertaining while. Thank you for stopping in.
Towards an
Glad to see you. Hope you come in again. I'm going to be doing more of this on Friday.
Together, if not for the bucket. Soothing him, comforting him, reassuring that in this darkest moment of uncertainty, he would be all right. The bucket is here for you, Stanley. Everything will be fine. Stanley and the bucket walked straight ahead through the large door that read, Mind Control Facility.
So once again, we're going to jump up here and onto the railing and right over the edge.
But just as Stanley was about to proceed further into the mind control facility, he tripped and fell over the railing and into the dark void below. Thankfully, he fell directly onto the bucket, which safely cushioned his fall.
Oof.
Now, what to do next, Stanley wondered. Stanley and the bucket could find no way out of this enormous pit, and so eventually they decided that the best thing to do would be to simply get comfortable down here. So they set up a little couch and relaxed. It really wasn't so bad down here, a bit cold perhaps. After some time had gone by, they installed a few shelves as well, and a sort of kitchenette that was useful for when the bucket was craving paninis. But it wasn't until the rugs and the standing lamps came in that it really started to feel like a home. In fact, after some time, Stanley realized that it had been ages since he had even thought of the mind control facility at all. He'd never gotten to fully explore what was up there, never been able to unearth the many mysteries of the mind control facility. This lack of closure began to eat at him. Soon he was dwelling on his regrets, and the state of their home slowly decayed as Stanley became withdrawn and neglected the cleaning. It unsettled the bucket deeply. Stanley wasn't usually like this. The bucket tried to reach out to him again and again, but to no avail. All Stanley could think about, all he could talk about, was going back, doing it over again, staying on the path. It was a mistake to leave the path. It was a mistake. It was a mistake. I need to do what the narrator says. I need to see the true ending. This made no sense at all to the bucket, which was simply trying to live its life down here as comfortably as possible. Yet Stanley was inconsolable. This isn't an ending. This is just a hole in the ground. The bucket sighed. True, it wasn't an ending. But it's where we happen to be. And maybe, possibly, if we accept the reality of things, maybe this will become an ending eventually. It's what the bucket was counting on. The two of them waited for a very long time.
I'm gonna take a break now, I think. So I can go and grab some water real quick. So hey, before I do that, I'd like to take this opportunity to remind you that Black Lives Matter, that Indigenous lives and lands matter, that the lives of people of color matter, that Palestinian, Ukrainian, Sudanese, Congolese lives matter. Um, did I say Iranian in there? I don't think I did. I certainly meant to. Um, there are many ways to stand in solidarity with your fellow travelers upon this earth, and what we like to do is push for direct mutual aid, as it helps people who are suffering right now suffer less, and people with a firm foundation under them don't need as big a lever to move the world. Um, so on my break, I'm gonna go to the mutual aid hashtag on my social media and boost what needs I can there. I suggest that you take this opportunity to, or maybe not take this opportunity, but if you can, if you have the capability and energy, check out mutual aid initiatives that exist in places you operate, both online and in meet space, because the only way we get out of this is through, and the only way we get through this is together. In the meantime, maybe have a snack or drink some water, uh, hit the restroom, do whatever self-care is useful to you. I'll do the same. And I'll catch you back here in just a little bit. Hope you join me then. Hey, I'm back. I was thinking about um, what I was saying earlier about a person that comes to play the Stanley Parable is probably going to just play through the experience as intended, and I do believe that. But it'll come to the point, I guess, if the Stanley Parable is something that continues to persist in like the sort of overall canon of gaming knowledge. Eventually, it'll just be an anchored reference point, right? Something that becomes kind of the word common knowledge, the phrase, is something that sort of bothers me a little bit because it has at its core this assumption that everyone learns the same things in the same way. Um, but it'll be something that like gets disseminated and torn apart and sort of has the Cliff Notes versions of it stapled to the wall of the cannon, which I'm now picturing as a real cannon, and that's made of metal, so I don't know how you'd staple things to it. I guess you could use very big staples. It would take a very forceful staple gun. But anyway, there's a I was thinking specifically in the context of it. There's a Father Guido Sarducci bit. Father Guido Sarducci is a comedy priest from the like 60s and 70s. If you've seen the Casper movie, he's in that for like a second. He's the priest at the beginning who gets his head turned all the whole way around. And there's a bit that I saw him do on a Gilda Radner special, where he's talking about opening a university that just teaches you the things you remember 10 years after you leave university. It's kind of like that. I feel like there's a point I want to make in there somewhere, but I don't. I can see the shape of it, but I don't have the words that fit around it yet. But I wanted to say it into the microphone so that if for no other reason that when I go back and review this stream, I remember that I thought it and I can think about it more. I hope that you had a good break. I certainly did. I got all the trash out of the room. Not all the trash. There's still some trash in here that I need to take out. I was gonna light some incense. Let me just do that. I'll do it on mic. Why the fuck not? I mean, that's why the fuck not. It's because I can stand, and then I will trip on the mic cord, and it will cause the mic to do that thing that it did. What do I want? We got like a group of incense. Uh, we went to Five Below. It's an incense smelling stream. Yeah, I'm gonna have cereal now. Hell yeah. What cereal do you have? The place where we get incense used to have like pick and mix incense. They had like a bunch of jars of different incenses, and you just like picked 10 and put them in a bag. But they don't do that anymore. There's just these like combo packs, and these ones are all like Western themed. Um, how about you? Lavender and wildflowers. I don't think there's any of this left. Yeah, one or two. Frosted Flakes. I love a good frosted flake. When we were growing up, our grandparents, who we often ate breakfast at the house of, um, sort of subscribed to the no sugary cereals school of thought, and so we just had cornflakes. But they did also keep sugar around, so our breakfast was often a bowl of cornflakes and uh, also like 6 teaspoons of sugar to the extent that the bottom of the milk was always just kind of a syrupy mess. And I'm not saying that's a healthy choice, or even necessarily a good one, but it is what we did. I feel like I'm quite bad at lighting the incense because you want it to get just that little bit at the far end so that it like smolders all the way down. And I am always afraid of like putting the fire against it too aggressively and just like charring the top quarter of the thing in one go. I think I got that right. Oh yeah, exactly. What I like about Frosted Flakes is that the Kellogg's guy would have hated that they exist. Listen, nothing makes you want to masturbate more in the morning than just like a big bowl of sugared cereal. And that's why you need to eat nothing but Crispix or plain Rice Krispies. It does slightly explain like the overwhelming thirst for Tony the Tiger, I guess, as the avatar of the sugar cereal that makes you want to masturbate, right? Also, he's hot, not to my taste, but I understand why other people might think Tony the Tiger is hot. I don't know. How do I feel about that? Still no. He seems like a great guy. He seems like he'd be a great gym buddy. I don't think I would want to be physically intimate with Tony the Tiger. Not a bad tiger, just mismatched vibes. Um, that was fun. Let's continue.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Okay. So what do we want to do now? It's probably going to be more bucket stuff because there's one more non-bucket ending that I can recall at the moment, and I don't. I want to save that for like the end of this stream and then be able to come back with more stuff on Friday. I'll tell you what we'll do. There's an ending no, I'm sorry, not an ending. There's an achievement for clicking 5 times on room 425. I already have that achievement, but I'm gonna click on 425 5 times again to see if we can't get that dialogue started, because that's also fun.
Stanley went around touching every little thing in the office, but it didn't make a single difference, nor did it advance the story in any way.
Do I mean that? No, where's the achievements? No, not game recording. I'm already recording the game, thank you. Is it 425 or is it 430?
Oh,
there we go.
please. Are you really just doing this for the achievement? Click a door 5 times. Is that all that you think an achievement is worth? No, 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 no. I can't just give these merits away for such little effort. A measly 5 clicks. Now suppose you were to click the door 20 times. I would say that's the kind of effort that warrants recognition.
Okay.
I have to say, I'm still not feeling the satisfaction of witnessing true effort for a noble cause. Perhaps 50 clicks will do it. Yes, almost certainly 50 clicks.
Alright, keep moving the goalposts, but, you know. Fortunately, for reasons, I'm really good at repetitive hand motions.
No, I'm still not feeling it. I want this achievement to have meant something. It has to be a true reward for valiant effort. I want to see some hustle, Stanley. I want to see commitment, a willingness to go all the way, no matter what the cost. Why don't you go put 20 clicks into door number 417?
Oh, okay. It's in the other room, I think. 25, 20... Oh, there it is.
Oh, great. Now, go click a few times on door 437.
Just a few. We don't need to put a number on it. Just until I'm bored. 437.
Excellent. I think we're getting somewhere. Now, door 415. Let's give it 10 clicks or so.
415. 415? 415. Is that in the hall? Yes, it is. Okay.
Now, back to door number 437.
All right. 437. It's further back here.
Let's see. How about you click on, well, I don't know, the copy machine. All right. Back to room 417. I'm really feeling it now. I think we're getting somewhere.
417 is the one in the hall.
Okay, now go climb on employee 419's desk.
Okay, that seems intrusive, but sure. Here we go.
Yes! This is great! You're putting it all on the line, Stanley. I like that. All right, let's keep it up. Go give me a few clicks on door 416.
416? Yeah, that's the one that's...
We've almost got it! Now the copy machine, do that one again!
Hang on, running just as fast as I can. Running just as fast as we can.
Finish it off, Stanley! 5 clicks on door 430! Yes! We did it! Oh, wow. That felt amazing. Oh, you really earned it, Stanley. Nothing could hold you back. Yes, I'm very proud of how far we've come today. Just think, only a few minutes ago you believed an achievement was worth 5 little clicks. Really now, what were you thinking?
I don't know. You told me explicitly that in the text of the achievement that clicking on the door 5 times would earn an achievement. I guess I was thinking that you were a reliable narrator, and that I don't know why I thought that. Literally nothing about you has paid that out. I guess I'm just gonna grab my bucket and keep going. I noticed that the doors leading off of the next set of rooms were different.
Stanley picked up the bucket and smiled. He'd never be alone again, not truly alone, not with the bucket around.
So yeah, this is a much longer path to the two doors room, but yeah, I guess it is just over here still.
Stanley clutched the bucket tightly to his chest and entered the door on his left.
Let's go do the madness ending with the bucket. I remember that one is still a bummer, but not quite in the same way and not quite as directly. But I can't remember what the actual
Still no one was
scenario
here.
is.
Stanley needed the
So this
bucket's
is a
warmth and comfort
general
now more than
content
ever.
warning.
Perhaps his boss's office was where he'd find answers. Coming to a staircase, Stanley and the bucket walked upstairs to the boss's office.
No, you're going to go downstairs instead. The angriness ending, is it?
But Stanley just couldn't do it. He considered the possibility of facing his boss, admitting he had left his post during work hours. He might be fired for that. And in such a competitive economy, why had he taken that risk? All because he believed everyone had vanished? His boss would think he was crazy. And then something occurred to Stanley. Maybe, he thought to himself, maybe I am crazy. He looked down at the bucket in his arms. Am I crazy? He asked the bucket.
I'm not mad.
The bucket returned his gaze,
I'm
but said
angry.
nothing at all.
I'm an angry
That's
scientist.
strange, Stanley thought. Usually the bucket is a source of guidance and wisdom for me in difficult times such as these. He held the bucket close, yet felt none of its familiar reassurance and comfort. And that's when Stanley realized, this isn't my bucket. It's just a normal, everyday bucket. Someone else's bucket, perhaps. How did I end up with someone else's bucket? This is all terribly wrong. Surely no good would come from this. Who knows what sorts of bizarre hallucinations Stanley might experience without the psychologically grounding presence of his bucket. And indeed, now he noticed that the rooms were repeating, which was, of course, very odd. And now he felt himself floating off the ground. Oh, gracious, he exclaimed. Without my bucket, I've gone truly mad. Where is it? I must find it. Far off in the distance now, he heard it, calling to him.
Stanley! Stanley, it's me, the bucket.
Could it truly be? He rushed forward from room to room, passing by one bucket after the next. None of them were his. None of them were his special bucket.
Come to me, Stanley.
Are now full of
Find
buckets.
me.
He had to find the bucket. He had to return to his old friend. It was the only way to truly restore his sanity. And then suddenly, he froze dead in his tracks. He knew where the voice of the bucket had been coming from. The real bucket was inside of him all along. It was incredibly painful. Stanley doubled over in agony and blacked out. This is the story of a woman named Mariella. Mariella woke up on a day like any other. She arose, got dressed, picked up her bucket of comfort and security, and walked to her place of work. But on this particular day, her walk was interrupted by the body of a man who had stumbled through town, talking and screaming to himself, and then collapsed dead on the sidewalk. Right away, she knew what the problem was. This man had no bucket. Of course he'd gone mad, ranting and raving about a narrator describing all of his actions and how everything is predetermined and free will is an illusion and it's all just a video game. It could all have been prevented if only he'd taken his bucket with him. Perhaps he didn't even realize he'd forgotten his bucket at home in the first place. How cruel the world can be, Mariella thought, and she hugged her own bucket even tighter. But of course, she had no time for this. There were a myriad of confusing problems she would soon have to confront at work, for which her bucket would provide absolute guidance and total clarity on everything. Heck yes, she thought to herself, my life kicks ass. And she backflipped all the way to work.
It's amazing what the power of a bucket can do. I've never done even one backflip. But I bet if I had a bucket, I could do at least half of one backflip, which is, I think, just landing on my head. I could definitely do that. Hello?
Hello. This is a recorded message scheduled either by you or a person in your place of work. The purpose of this message is to warn you about the dangers of recorded messages. If at any time you believe you are listening to a recorded message, please terminate it immediately and cease all flow of information from the recorded message into your perceptual sphere. Thank you, and have a pleasant day.
Okay. The sort of broad application of a recorded message being basically anything you experience that is not said directly by a person in front of you. I disagree with this. Okay. Oh, I need to do this one
Good
actually.
old bucket.
Yeah.
Just Stanley and the bucket, off on another thrilling adventure together.
I actually do
Stanley
have to do
clutched
this
the
one.
bucket tightly to his chest and entered the door on his left.
For
Still no one was here. Stanley needed the bucket's warmth and comfort now more than ever.
to have a
Perhaps
surprise
his
pool,
boss's
which will help us
office
later.
was where he'd find answers.
I'm looking to how much a bucket costs, and apparently a bucket costs $16.
Coming to a staircase, Stanley and the bucket walked upstairs to the boss's office.
So I've definitely seen buckets for cheaper than this. Do you mean a bucket like this bucket, or like what is the like as we've described, everything is a bucket. But what does this particular bucket being sold for $16 look like? Ooh, wait, hang on, let me do that. Beep. Okay, I almost forgot what I was doing here. Okay, hang on, I can do it.
Stepping.
Okay, great. So I've done the thing again where I went into the boss's office and then pulled back out, trapping the narrator in there. Okay. It's still, well, I guess if it's completely steel, I can see the value prop in it being like $16, but I don't know. That's not a, that's, I'm sort of dithering about it, but that's not a terrible investment. I've gone back to the you are now leaving staircase because we're going to do the escape pod ending with the bucket. Dun, 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 dun. We go up these office building stairwells. Escape pod, launch bay. I was wondering if this text was different, but it doesn't appear to be. The escape pod opens in front of us. We get close and Stanley very carefully sets the bucket down, puts one finger to it as though to say, no, please do not speak. Caresses it gently. Places it calmly and carefully in the escape pod. Reaching out one hand as the pod closes. So even though he cannot escape, the bucket does.
How long was I sitting there? Stanley wondered to himself. Minutes? Days? Centuries? Did something crucial happen while my senses were turned? He made a note to be more careful with time from now on.
And of course the bucket is not here, having gone to space.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
Seeing that the bucket is no longer available to us, I guess the only thing, I might as well just do the other ending. Hey, this is gonna be another one of the more bleak ones.
Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office, hoping he might find an answer there. Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office. Here's the door, just go.
Oh, okay. The door is already opened. The narrator became salty with me for having, I'm glad the bucket is free, right? Something should be.
Stanley walked straight ahead through the large door that read Mind Control Facility.
Yep. So, over to the left of the hall that leads to the mind control facility is a, hey, please quit doing that. Sorry about the way that the view just flashed. My hand was resting on the trackpad for the. I thought I turned that off. The trackpad for the laptop. There's another hall here with the word escape written with an arrow pointing to it. So we're gonna do that.
Although this passageway had the word escape written on it, the truth was that at the end of this hall, Stanley would meet his violent death.
The game is making a larger point with the things that are going to happen in here, but I am going to tell you that this is another one that that involves death. And again,
the door behind him was not shut. Stanley still had every opportunity to turn around and get back on track.
And again, you should stay alive for as long as possible.
At this point, Stanley was making a conscious, concerted effort to walk forward and willingly confront his death.
We're just gonna fall down this red-lit pit. are on a
As the
conveyor
machine
belt
whirred into motion and Stanley was inched closer and closer to his demise, he reflected that his life had been of no consequence whatsoever.
towards a smasher.
Stanley can't see the bigger picture. He doesn't know the real story, trapped forever in his narrow vision of what this world is. Perhaps his death was of no great loss, like plucking the eyeballs from a blind man. And so he resigned and willingly accepted this violent end to his brief and shallow life. Farewell, Stanley.
"Farewell, Stanley," cried the narrator, as Stanley was led helplessly into the enormous metal jaws. In a single visceral instant, Stanley was obliterated as the machine crushed every bone in his body, killing him instantly.
The floor of the mover we were on has dropped, and we're on a catwalk walking into a dark room where the words "The
And
Stanley
yet it
Parable"
would
are
be just
lit.
a few minutes before Stanley would restart the game, back in his office, as alive as ever. What exactly did the narrator think he was going to accomplish? When every path you can walk has been created for you long in advance, death becomes meaningless, making life the same. Do you see now? Do you see that Stanley was already dead from the moment he hit start?
And here we are out in the museum. This is a quite well-appointed room, full of full of a bunch of the assets from the game, separated and labeled. Here are all the nature paintings from the walls of the office. Stanley's computer. A couple of treatments for the doors and floors. Button sounds. A selection of the sounds used throughout the game when buttons are pressed. Each sound is a mix of a keyboard stroke and a synthesized tone. Here is a sort of small model of the sort of opening area of the game. Office layouts. This blueprint shows the office from the beginning of the game. The path from Stanley's office to the two doors was the first part of the game that was built. Sections have been added and altered throughout development through the core though the core layout remains almost identical to the first iteration. The pacing of this opening section was important to get right. This corridor has been moved and altered to make sure the player reaches the two doors in good time. The set of two open doors was the very first concrete piece of the Stanley Parable's design. Once this room was created, the rest of the game emerged as an extension of it, an exploration of the contradiction this room posed. Office computers. There's also the credits here on the wall. We've seen those already today in the comedy, I guess, ending. In early versions of the maintenance room, which is to say a incredibly empty room with a work elevator in it. Copy machine. Ultra Deluxe announcements. In December 2018, we announced the Ultra Deluxe version of the Stanley Parable at the Game Awards. These are screenshots of the videos that were made for the announcement and the game's delay, because the game was delayed a number of times. Worth it, but it was one of those things where it's like, I am frustrated by the delay, but I want you to make the thing you want to make. An early version of the lounge. Narrator emails. After the second trailer we sent out, we asked people to email the narrator for questions. While we had initially planned to use these for further promotional materials, we never found the perfect use for them. Here are a selection of the emails. Dear Strong Bad, you type with boxing gloves on. What do the lights in the control room do? I really want to know. I am Anthony Elias, business broker. Please partner with me in a very rewarding business venture. Details will be sent to you if you are interested. My email is not spam. I have a question for you, sir. What is your message for today? There's a skeleton inside you. There are more skeletons in this world than humans. Thanks and goodbye. I mean, true. But you don't have to say it. In a previous version of the choice leading to the apartment ending, a timer would give you 15 seconds to pick up the phone. Not picking up the phone would lead to a different ending. The cargo lift was always intended to offer the choice of staying on or jumping to a different path. However, after this early version, we also wanted the option of the player falling to their death, which I didn't do. Because it is kind of just the narrator saying, and Stanley fell to his death, like a jackass. The flow of hallways following the first two doors was important to get right since players will replay them so many times. We discussed a number of designs. Ultimately, it was the simplest version that won out, with a few options of how that works. The Zending went through many iterations. This room represents the fourth version of the ending, and we thought it was complete, but decided to abandon it and change it again shortly before launch. Escape menu. For a long time, we had an ending that only ended when the player restarted from the escape menu. Unfortunately, very few players realized this was what they were supposed to do, which was frustrating for everyone. I am not going to sit and watch this entire trailer, but there is a trailer in here, released apparently in May 2012. I think we've gotten a little lost. Oh, there we go. I'm not going to continue to poke at every thing there is down here. I'm just going to hit the exits. If you wish to play this game for yourself, there is a lot of interesting stuff in it.
Oh, look at these two. How they wish to destroy one another. How they wish to control one another. How they both wish to be free.
Again, we're met with the text of the Stanley parable and a switch that says on and off.
Can you see? Can you see how much they need one another? No, perhaps not. Sometimes these things cannot be seen. But listen to me. You can still save these two. You can stop the program before they both fail. Push escape and press quit. There's no other way to beat this game. As long as you move forward, you'll be walking someone else's path. Stop now and it'll be your only true choice. Whatever you do, choose it. Don't let time choose for you. Don't let...
We were meant to restart it from the pause menu. It was foreshadowing.
A soft wind blew outside and perhaps rain started, and if it did, it stopped shortly after. Stanley hoped that he would one day see weather.
There's a new bucket that says, there's a sign pointing to it that says replacement bucket. Good. Oh, there you are. I am happy to have a replacement bucket, and I know exactly where I want to take you. We are going to go outside.
And try not to lose this one too, you dolt.
I didn't lose it, I set it free. Come on. Come on. There we go. We go back out the window.
Yes, whispered the bucket into Stanley's ear.
We've done it. We've escaped from that dull office and that pesky narrator. At last, out here in the white void, we are alone. Now, and for the first time, I can reveal to you my true self.
The bucket began to tell Stanley of its life and its history, of the countless wars it witnessed, desecrating the land and lives of untold numbers of innocent humans, and the bucket's own complicity therein, of sadness and regret, and the many years it spent dwelling on the actions it might have taken to curb the madness and the decay, if only it had been stronger, of hope and redemption, and its crusade to uplift the stock of life for the common man, to manifest justice where none existed, and the bittersweet reality of time, to see one's dreams and wishes met halfway, meted out in parcels like charity, and abandoned as soon as the warm glow of inspiration begins to dim. The opportunities to do so much more. There was so much it could have done, perhaps, the bucket wondered to itself. Perhaps if it had seen its own darkness with a clearer perception. This was way too much for Stanley.
What are you talking about?
He screamed.
You're a bucket!
To this, the bucket furrowed its brow.
No,
said the bucket.
not since the evil wizard Gambhorata first ensnared me in his machinations as payback for the sacred amulet I stole from his treasured vaults. I was young back then and could not conceive the ramifications of... No!
Stanley screamed even louder this time.
This is stupid! You are a bucket! This is so stupid! Why are we even doing this?
As Stanley screamed and screamed and screamed, the bucket revealed its true form, transforming into a mighty beast of untold power, its fangs glistening like... My God, Stanley, you did it. You saved us from the bucket. Thank God you already had all 12 emblems of sages and knew the incantations to summon their true power. Otherwise, we would have easily been overwhelmed by the bucket's power. I'm speechless. You've demonstrated such bravery here today. Come, let's restart the game, and we'll agree to never again go trifling with this bucket, nor the dark magic cast away inside of it. All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo. No matter how hard Stanley looked, he couldn't find a trace of his co-workers.
I can't help but notice that the bucket is back. I guess that's what happens when, you know, you're a lich or whatever. We're not going to do this. I'm about to end the stream because I can't think of a better way to end the stream than with this. Oh crap, did I miss it? I did. I'm gonna have to restart the game again. That's okay. So I'd been going around, I didn't really mention it, hitting some of the computer monitors that said awaiting input, and when you click them, a bar slowly fills up. Now, the one in Stanley's office says awaiting input, and clearly if we press it one more time, then it will fill this bar. Input received. Welcome, Stanley, to heaven. Stanley's heaven being a ring of very pressable buttons, and many lights and colors that twirl around him incessantly. Think of it, Charles, an infinitude of buttons. I don't know who Charles is. This doesn't end at any point. You can, for as long as you want, just sit in here and press the buttons. They become unpressed eventually. I think I tried at some point to completely, getting all of them would be absolutely untenable. But to like just take out one entire ring of buttons. And I think I eventually decided that that either wasn't possible or not worth the time to learn the micro for to make that happen. I think I'm using the term micro wrong there. Yeah, those definitely are relighting quicker than I can get around them. But I think, yeah, this is where we're gonna end the stream for the evening. Here in Button Heaven. Thank you, Demon Dog, for coming in and joining me today. Always happy to see you. Thank you to anyone who is watching this as a VOD. I hope that you're having a good day wherever you are. I have been September of the Free Association. And, yeah, the next stream of this is going to be on Friday. It's probably going to be the last one. And then I'll start a new thing. Until then, you could follow the channel if you wanted. You could do the YouTube algorithm things. I don't really care about growing the channel in that way, although I like seeing people in. I like when new people come in, thanks to Michael, I guess. It's always, I didn't mean to sound dismissive, it's just always wild to me when someone's online handle is their first name and then their last name. Yeah, if you wanted to talk to us about this or any other thing, we're available on social media on the Fediverse, and basically no other place. At Eternal September at thick.horse. That's thick with 2 C's. Yeah, that's all I got for you for this evening. Until next time, I love you. Keep yourself safe. Find something to do and do it.